I'm Triple J, and welcome to Brain Food, where I tell you what's yummy and nutritious for your head. Say, do you like D&D? How about a good old sword and sorcery adventure, with drugs and mayhem and violence and drinking and more blood spilled than the rave party at the start of the Blade movie? Well then, I've got a comic for you. It's called The Rat Queens, Volume 1, Sass and Sorcery, written by Curtis J. Weber with art and covers by Rock Upchurch. The Rat Queens is a story of an adventuring guild of the same name, comprised of 4 people, including Dee Dee, a human who used to worship a flying squid god, Hannah, a university-educated elf mage, Betty the Smidgen, which is, I guess, kind of like a hobbit but with way bigger ears, and Violet, a violent, clean-shaven dwarf with cheesy catchphrases and cool battle cries. Thanks to the efforts of the Rat Queens, along with other adventuring guilds that have really fun names such as the Brother Ponies, the Peaches, and the 4 Daves, Palisade has become a safe haven for all. Until, and this most especially applies to the Rat Queens, they got bored, drank way too much, and had one too many tavern-destroying, room-clearing brawls. This leads to Sawyer, the captain of the guard, issuing them all a quest. If they don't complete the quest, they get kicked out of Palisade, and he gets to punch them each in the face as they leave. But all's not as it seems, as someone has hired black-clothed assassins to kill all the adventuring guilds, and it's up to the Rat Queens to figure out who it is. If you've ever played D&D, the Rat Queens is a nice little treat for you. And even if you haven't, the writing as such is that it's very welcoming to those who haven't played D&D. Again, for those who have, there are a few little nice nods and winks, such as at the end of the first issue, which has, surprise, -4 penalty to initiative in the tagline. Now, one of the things you're really going to notice about this graphic novel is, of course, the artwork, which is about some of the best that I've seen around. Rock Upchurch brings a lot of life and personality to the story and the characters, to the point that where you really get to see the characters react to what is being said and done around them, more often than not to hilarious effects. Rock is also really good at depicting a variety of body types, with almost no 2 people, especially women, looking the same. For example, we have Violet, who is a dwarf and a fighter, so she's shorter, a bit more squat, but also because, she's the fighter, she swings a sword. Betty is an agile, hand-to-hand combatant, so she's really slender, while Dee Dee and Hannah are mages, so they got a bit more curviness to them. And then there's Braga, an orc woman, a gigantic beast of gorgeous muscle and sword-swinging slaughter, just like any other orc, male or female, in this book. Rock is also amazing at drawing clothing, to a degree that I've rarely seen before. Although I do blame that on my having read almost entirely superhero comic books. In this book, you see clothing move and swish and bunch up as the characters move. And even characters who wear tighter clothing, such as Hannah and Dee Dee, it looks like tight clothing with wrinkles here and there instead of body paint. Now, I love superhero comics, I really do. But if you look at any of them recently, and even in the past decade or 2, it looks like the characters have had their costumes spray painted on. It doesn't look like tight clothing. And it's really rather disturbing when it looks like the character's clothing is so tight that individual veins are popping up through the skin, or that you can count each individual butt cheek on a woman. Or if you're looking at any artwork by Jim Lee and Rob Liefeld. I'm just saying. Now, getting back to the Rat Queens, there's not just a diversity of body types, but a diversity of people as well. Unlike some modern fantasies we've been seeing around these days, cough, The Hobbit, only 2 black people in the background, are you fucking kidding me? Cough. We see a wide variety of people here as well. There's not just white people running around in Palisade. For example, Silver Sawyer, the captain of the guard, is black. Dee Dee is black. Betty's lover, Fairy, is Asian. So it's really refreshing to see this in a fantasy story. All in all, this is a fantastic, fun fantasy graphic novel, and I highly recommend you go out and buy it and support it now. The first story arc in this volume 1 had a lot of heart and fun, and more than a bit of crude humor to it. So who knows where they're going to go from here. So, get yourself Code 1 Avocado Canadian Beerus. Pick up this graphic novel and have yourself a good time. I'm Triple J, and that's all I got left to say. Cheers!
Whiskey is the life of man. Whiskey, Johnny. Oh, whiskey is the life of man. Whiskey for my Johnny, oh. I drink whiskey when I can. Whiskey, Johnny. I'll drink it out of an old tin can. Whiskey for my Johnny, oh. Whiskey gave me a broken nose. Whiskey,